I'm Sarah Lay, and I am here to share what God has been doing in me the last couple months, which started on July 29th at church. So that Sunday was a very busy Sunday. I was volunteering in children's ministry that day, so I was kind of in and out of service. The first service I came in really late. Worship should have been over, and it was definitely still going on. The whole bottom of the stage was filled with people being prayed over. There was spiritual laughter happening, shaking, crying, all the things. And I was very overwhelmed when I walked in, wondering kind of what I had missed when I was not in there. Part of my family was down there, so I was just sitting there wondering what was next. So Grant came up to me while I was standing there just praying, and he gave me a word that I didn't know what meant at the time. He said that there were things that I saw as mistakes and God saw as acts of faith, and that he was going to be rewriting that. At the time, I kind of figured that maybe the word was for someone else, and I kind of brushed it aside. The first service ended. I left, and I came back in second service after serving, and Dung Tran prayed over me and said that I needed to be bold and start praying over people down front. So I went down front and started praying over people. By the second person, I started feeling a block type shape in my throat. That's the only way I can describe it. It felt like one of those toy wooden blocks, and it felt like it was just right here in my throat. But I could breathe fine, but it was, I don't know, just, you definitely feel that there. So I was then wondering, I wonder if I can talk with this block in my throat. So I started to speak, and the words were not my words. They were words that I did not understand. And so they continued to go on. It was the same few words over and over as I was praying over people, and it would kind of fade in and out. My words, praying over people, and then the prayer language would come out. And I had no idea what it meant. I was kind of looking around like, is anyone hearing this? Does anyone else think this is crazy? Because I was kind of freaked out. But it continued on for the remainder of the service as I was praying over people. And I just felt like God was pinpointing different people down front that I was supposed to be praying for. And I would go pray for them. And then I would move on to the next person. It was a very wild experience because in the past, words had been given to me about praying in tongues, and I had no idea how to do it. And so it just happened that day. It wasn't something that I was trying to do or expecting to happen, but God just moved in me that day. Then later that night, when I was folding laundry, I was just praying about the day, kind of thinking through, processing everything that had happened at church. And God revealed to me what the message that Grant had shared with me, that he felt like God was saying to me. And it goes back 10 years. For 10 years, the enemy has lied to me about all sorts of things. And they usually all revolves around the loss of our twin girls. We had one surviving twin, and we knew that she wasn't going to make it. We made the choice to bring her home to be with us for as long as she was going to be able to. And that meant that she could not be an organ donor. So the enemy for 10 years has been telling me that I was selfish, that I stole life from other families because of my choice. it wasn't something that I ever shared with my husband about these lies, because I didn't want to put that on him. But that message hit straight to my core. And it was that us bringing her home was an act of faith, trusting that God could heal her and that He could do that from our house, and that we needed no medical intervention for that to happen. At that moment, I completely broke down because that lie had been revealed and it was breaking off. I then told my husband about it, and he was kind of frustrated that I hadn't shared it for 10 years. And he said, that is definitely a lie, because we had had conversations with the doctors and the nurses about how we were making the choice to have faith in God because we knew that God was able to do miracles without doctor intervention, without being at a hospital, and that we were going to see it happen, and that her life, just even being born alive, was a miracle, and that He could do even more. And we felt like God was asking us to take her home as an act of faith, despite what doctors were saying. And so that Sunday was not only a breakthrough of breaking off lies, but it was also stepping into being bold and praying for others, and that God can use even me through prayer language and just my normal words to pray over others and ask for healing and restoration in whatever way that they may be struggling with. So I am hoping that this is not only an encouragement to you to keep pushing through on spiritual giftings, and that they're there for you as well. If they're there for me, then they're there for you. And then also that it doesn't matter how much time has passed, God knows the lies that the enemy is using, and He will break them off when the time is right and when we are ready for those lies to be broken off.